You're listening to Weird and Dead, the paleontology podcast that tells evolution's most embarrassing and bizarre stories. I'm Meaghan Wetherell.
And I'm Amy Atwater, and we're two living scientists who are weirdly excited about dead things. On this episode, we dive into the disgusting digits and freaky phalanges of dinosaurs and mammals. Well, Iguanodon and pandas.
It turns out that getting extra fingers or adding onto your existing ones is not as weird as the whole rest of Iguanodon's murder mittens.
Like always, our podcast is disgusting and for adults, so please check the content warnings before continuing. Here we go. This is a Freaky Fingers episode. I'm really excited to hear how all of these, can I say inner finger?
I mean, you just did, so I guess I can't stop you.
We're going to go on a prehistoric safari of weird fingers in fossil and living creatures as well, actually. Quite a bit of living creatures too. But we're going to start today's journey with a dinosaur that I knew nothing about 2 years ago. And then I started working at Dinosaur Ridge, and now I know a lot about Iguanodon. Iguanodon. Okay, Iguanodon. It's a dinosaur. All right, Iguanodon is interesting because it is one of the first dinosaurs to receive a name. There was a summer camper today telling me about how the first dinosaur to be named is Megalosaurus, and I told him he was wrong. That I said, don't look up the other ones.
Yeah,
And then I was like, I gotta go. I cannot be, you can't do this, Amy. Because, yeah, I'm a firm believer that the first dinosaur named was Scrotum humanum, but everyone is like, It wasn't until like over 100 years later that they named Megalosaurus in the UK. And then pretty soon after that, Iguanodon came about and earned its name. It was first discovered in the UK as well. So it's this herbivorous dinosaur. I've read that because it's one of the first named, it is one of the most illustrated dinosaurs of all time. And
oh, that makes sense.
So one of the things that makes Iguanodon kind of cool, marginally, is that it has a thumb spike, which we'll talk about.
Right.
But when they first found Iguanodon, so Iguanodon was discovered by, well, it's debated if it was found by just Mary Ann Mantell or if it was discovered by her and her husband, Gideon, or whatever the fuck that name is. I don't know. It's a weird name in my opinion.
It's Gideon. Yeah.
Gideon.
Yeah.
Stop taking credit for your wife's shit. This is the day and age of essentially like it's a little bit before Mary Anning and everything, but the story goes that she found the teeth. Her husband was a doctor. She was like walking around between his appointments or something and found these big ass teeth that were really weird looking. And he was the one who then was like, I'm going to write to all these scientific minds of the time and whatnot. And because it looked like the tooth of an iguana, but bigger, they named it Iguanodon, which is iguana tooth. And one of the interesting things, okay, actually, its entire hand finger is fucking weird. So, its thumb is a straight up spike, but when they first found it, they interpreted the spike to go on the nose because they thought it was like a rhinoceros iguana, just giant size.
Okay.
And yeah.
And at that point, they'd Europeans had only just recently learned about rhinos, right? Like we were still drawing them as like weird kind of artistic tanks.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm
pretty sure
at
that point. Maybe we'd known about rhinos for like 50 years, 100 years, but we hadn't known about them for super long. And we were not good at drawing them.
No, but we definitely put rhinos and like unicorns in like the same camp of existing animals. Yeah. Like it was fully, and it's just like Thomas Jefferson being like, go forth and find the bison and the woolly mammoths and the giant ground sloths, Lewis and Clark, because that's what you did. So yeah, it's definitely in this era of exploration and discovery. And my favorite thing, though, because it's been so highly illustrated, but the thumb spikes are one of the most defining things about it, is every single picture of Iguanodon just looks like it's giving you this big old thumbs up. Like it's hitchhiking or something. Like, It is like they have to like every picture is like just thumbs.
Dinosaurs are okay. So says Iguanodon.
It's just a group of Iguanodon walking through like, you know, an environment, whatever. And all of them, their thumbs are just super prominent. Like it's just, I laugh every time. We have some at the bathroom at work and I like laugh my ass off while I'm peeing because I'm looking at these hitchhiking Iguanodons. So we talk about them at Dinosaur Ridge because our tracks were made by some type of ornithopod. It's now thought to be more of a true hadrosaur duckbill dinosaur, whereas iguanodons are more like, oh shit, fuck me in my dinosaur taxonomy. They're not quite true hadrosaurs yet, even though they're still stupid, duck-faced, herbivore things with essentially weird hooves and then duck feet in the back. I just, you know.
Okay. I guess I'm making this face because everything about Iguanodon is kind of a blur to me, except the thumb spike, to be perfectly
you're gonna
fair.
Get ready.
So I'm like, oh yeah, it's like a herbivore, and that's 100% of what I knew. So it does have the freaky hooves.
Kind
I
of.
also dislike the fact that dinosaurs have hooves.
It's debated. It doesn't have
like
the hoof of what we are seeing in things like Brachylophosaurus or Montosaurus and more of these like later derived hadrosaurs. But it's debated with its creepy fucking hand if the middle three fingers operated as kind of a hoof or if they were separate or if they were like, I'm serious, webbed. So they have really weird mitten hands is how they're frequently described. So they got a thumb spike for a thumb. They got 3 weird giant fingers in the middle. And then they have this creepy prehensile pinky.
What?
Go ahead and scroll.
Okay. I mean, our pinky is prehensile.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to see some freaky shit, man. I love that you've like not really seen Iguanodon and this is like your foray into Iguanodon and it is so weird. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and describe these bones that you're seeing. I gave one of the bones themselves and a schematic drawing of the bones.
Right. So we've got the thumb spike, which this was going to be one of my questions, is it is a modified digit, it appears to be anyways. So it's digit number 1. And then that's sticking out hitchhiking style. And then we have 3 janky ass fingers with hoof-like endings. And then what appears to be just like an opposite. And like, this is a rocker, right? Like that's the...
Yes. That would be accurate.
Yeah, but like the pinky, it has, instead of having like elongated joints like most animals that walk on their tiptoes do, like deer, anything that has hooves, it's spikier looking. And does it have extra digits?
It has
in there?
extra phalanges. So they have different number of phalanges.
Hyperdactyly.
Yeah, bro.
That's the word I had to learn today.
You freak.
Yeah, so that just means it has extra, it added digits onto...
It added
it's
phalanges.
Like taking your...
It go-gadgeted phalanges to make its fingers longer. Instead of extending an individual phalanx to make it longer, it just modified and was able to add extra bones.
Yeah, like adding another, like the bone that supports your pinky nail, adding another bone past that.
Yeah.
Not making all of your bones longer, which is the more classic route.
That's the normal evolutionary trend. This is, I love our podcast because I feel like it's such a subtle way of being like, bitch, evolution is true. Like, look at how weird.
There's no way we'd have this.
Why wouldn't this great creator just stick with one freaky finger and just give it to everybody?
Yeah.
Why you gotta be like, no, this one's gonna have these freaky fingers? That's definitely the theme of today. So it's very strange because the thumb has reduced its phalanges. It only has 2 phalanges in the thumb. Then the index finger and the middle finger have large, twisted, hoof-like ungles or claws. And then there are, with, I guess, like, 2, it's 2, 3, 3, 2, 4. That's their phalangeal formula. So the thumb has 2 phalanges, the index and middle finger have 3, the ring finger has 2 again, and then the pinky finger has 4. It is weird. It is weird. It is just, it's really just weird. It was strange. Okay, so going back to the whole organism, not just its fingers, but Iguanodon had relatively long arms, and they were quite robust, and they're thought that they were rather inflexible hands, so that those 3 central fingers could bear a lot of weight. So that's kind of that hoof idea.
Okay.
The thumbs were conical spikes that stuck out, as you're noticing, almost at a 90-degree angle from the 3 main digits. And the little finger was elongated, dexterous, and may have been used for manipulating objects. So, with that being said, go ahead and look at the creepy shit of what an Iguanodon reconstruction is on the next page. I can't even hear you. You're laughing so hard. Oh my God.
I was I thought it would be funny to say that this is a rocker, but this is definitely that's a sexual gesture of some kind.
With just
I
that
don't really
pinky.
know what it's supposed to
Oh, come
Yeah.
here.
Well, just the 3.
Oh, but yeah, it's
going up.
Yes, I mean maybe it's 3 in the cloak.
2 for the poke. Well, it's 1 for the poke and 1 for the tickle, really.
1 for the tickle. Oh, well, I mean, right. You might need that. Oh.
Yep.
Isn't that... Okay, I have in my notes, show reconstructions. Laugh hysterically. I wrote that in. Okay, so that is what... Oh, first off, you need to describe what you're seeing.
Okay, so I want you to imagine that, they've really committed to the thumb spike, and that's going out 90 degrees. And then they've taken those 3 sort of normal fingers and they've webbed them together into a super finger.
Like it's
and then
doing
the
a
pinky,
come hither. Yeah.
Yep. And then the pinky, they've decided, it just looks like somebody flexed a bicep. It's that degree of curled over. It looks like a really specific posture, and a pervert drew that. That's what that is.
Well, I mean, we are
I don't know what they're
paleontologists.
into, but they're into something weird. Anyways.
Yep. That's exactly, So this is just an interpretation. It is super weird, though. Incredibly, incredibly strange. Oh, also, I made props for today's episode that won't make any real sense, but this is my Iguanodon. This is my...
She put her hand into an oven mitt and she just taped some cardboard to it.
It's actually a fake slice of pizza from Tracy's Toy Kitchen.
All right, hold on. We need to take a screenshot of that pretty clearly.
Can you really tell that it's come hither?
The picture I just took is really bad.
Oh, that's perfect. Those are my favorite. Yeah, Kelly saw this last week and was like, what the fuck? And I was like, don't worry about it. He's like, I know what it's for. He's like, I can tell, you sick fuck. And I was like, you're welcome. Okay, so that's actually just one interpretation of how this Iguanodon hand would have worked. When I went to the Natural History Museum of London, they also had a display on Iguanodon, which makes sense. The UK is where it was first discovered and named. So if you want to go ahead and scroll to the second image, you can see what I think is equally horrifying, to be totally honest.
Okay. You know how like when an old man can't really trim his toenails or fingernails appropriately.
Yeah, they look like creepy giant
That's what these hooves
ogre
look like.
hands. Yeah.
They've gone with separating the toes on this interpretation to the point where the hooves are no longer facing the same direction.
And they look creepily human.
They've made it a tool user. That's what they appear to have done with that pinky. I hate it. I like the previous interpretation better.
The other one is very Shape of Water, if you ask me.
See? It's perverted.
Yeah. I love how many times Shape of Water comes up in this podcast.
I love that I've never seen it.
Wait, what? You would actually like it.
Would I?
I think you would actually like it. No, I think it might be one of the few things that overlaps both of our needs.
Okay.
In film. It's very, I mean, it is very weird. It is not a normal movie.
Well, that does sound like something I would like. So I guess the next time you come visit, we'll have to watch Shape of Water.
Okay.
I'll try and find some fish we can watch it in front of or something. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
As one does.
As one does.
So, yeah, so this one is super creepy. Okay, so then what the fuck? What were they doing with these hands?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? And I just find it frustrating. And so not
we're just doing bad hand gestures to each other now. Amy does not have her mitten on.
3 in the pink.
So that's
all right.
Nice. It's an improvement.
Okay, so of course, what do you think we've interpreted this thumb spike to be, Meaghan? Imagine you're a man who found this shit.
Weapon.
Yay! Surprise, surprise. It has been interpreted to be a weapon.
Stabby stab.
So if you want to go ahead and scroll to see the image I took at the Natural History Museum, this is on display.
That is such a fucking swole ass iguanodon. Look at how big its
they need it. They need it for all of the...
They need it for stabbing.
Right. Straight to the carotid. Yeah.
That looks very et to Brutus. Like, they got really close to each other.
I went in for a handshake and I'm stabbing you in the neck. Yeah. So this is what is depicted all the time, is Iguanodon in incredibly close range, stabbing a predator directly into the neck.
Doing weird kung fu moves with its flexible pinky.
No. No, that's just for eating and the ladies. So the thumb is all his business in the front, party in the back.
I knew coming into it that we were going to make shocker jokes the whole time, but like I'm surprised that we're into them so early in the episode, I guess.
Well, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. It's great. Okay, this is so incredibly common, and so the way I couldn't figure out a way to really demonstrate how insane it is to me that Iguanodon is either shown as hitchhiking or it's in this combat in this exact same type of pose. So if you want to scroll, I literally took a screenshot of my Google image search I searched Iguanodon stabbing, and this is the first 3 rows. Of results.
It's just Iguanodon stabbing. Like, it just looks murderous. Like, every time the dinosaur's like, no, I didn't do anything to you. Like, it doesn't look defensive. It looks aggressive. Like, this is actually a meat-eating dinosaur with, like, a vampire.
Right.
Like, it's got, like, a love of throat blood.
Oh, I like the one on the upper right where the other hand is, like, using to hold the throat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, stay still.
It's kind of sinister, honestly.
Right, and this predator and meat eater is just like, oh no, why? Like, I'm gonna turn my head. So please, I'm sure this isn't going to be all that hard for you, but do you want to list some of your concerns with this interpretation of the thumb spike?
I feel like if you are getting within stabbing distance of the neck of a carnivorous dinosaur, you are also within biting distance of its teeth.
Yep.
So this seems like a last resort for when your neck is in its mouth, you know? Like that, or this is the Iguanodon is like stab first, ask questions second. Why are Iguanodons so fierce?
They were just murderers, you know, herbivorous murderers.
Duck-billed murderers, yeah.
Yeah, but that is one of the major complaints about this interpretation of the thumb spike, is that it has to be used at such close range that the dinosaur would be at a lot of danger itself for being there. Again, it's like bear spray and how they're like, don't use your bear spray until the bear is a yard away from you. And you're like, fuck you. That's terrifying. That's fucked up. I wish I had a thumb spike.
Yeah.
I just fucking stab this bear.
Yeah. It does. It just seems like a little too late. Like a tail spike would have been more reasonable. But sometimes evolution doesn't give you what you want. It just gives you something shitty instead.
Yeah, seriously. Evolution, it's not Christmas.
And I'm not
So-
saying no Iguanodon ever stabbed a theropod in the neck.
Right.
But it probably also died immediately afterwards from its many grievous wounds.
Right. Right. That it had to, that why was it even at such close range? Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of times that's still how Iguanodon is interpreted. The number one thing that comes up about the purpose of the thumb spike is still for violence and defense and all that. And of course, there are other paleontologists that believe it is more for this herbivorous lifestyle.
As I say, digging or something?
Yeah, breaking into seeds, digging, breaking into fruit. I found this
trees, stabbing trees.
Yeah. But it's kind of like giant ground sloths, in my opinion, too. About if you looked at the claws of a giant ground sloth, you would be like, oh shit, they were just stabbing saber-toothed cats left and right. They were just like, Yeah. And we know that they were using those giant ass claws to get branches and get foliage and be able to eat. And that, I read this awesome article by Riley Black, I think in the Smithsonian. And she was writing about how it could, again, her interpretation is, well, what if it is something like what we see in pandas and even red pandas, I think, where it's something about like gathering and getting branches and then being able to easily like slice up kind of through it to like get the foliage off of your branches by having this adaptation that's pointy on this end. And then you got that nice prehensile finger on the other side to keep that branch in place while you're then skewering this food source. So I would love to see more work come out about Iguanodon. I love all the art, but let's do some more studies, maybe. Perhaps. But please, someone keep drawing these insane things. And the only other thing I have to say about this paper that I read was that I laughed really hard because they described the thumb claw as being described as horny. And I just lost my shit because I am who I am. And then I was like, that's a really interesting way to describe this. I wonder if they use it any other times in this paper. And so I searched it and they used it like 15 times. So yeah, mostly to describe the beak of Iguanodon. It's got a horny beak, a horny claw, and a horny sheath.
It's a horned up dino.
And I was like, have you looked at the hands? The hands are horny, my friend. And that's what I have for you on Iguanodon, and that I don't buy the thumb spike for violence except in absolutely necessary situations. And I think that it is something more towards this foliage and something more for feeding on plants. That's my 2 cents. But I honestly don't care.
Want more content and you don't want to wait? Or maybe you don't want to hear ads like this? Well, head on over to our Patreon for exclusive content, early ad-free episodes, and so much more. For only $5 a month, you can hear outtakes, exclusive episodes, and the stuff we cut for time. And also, the stuff we cut because it was just too much for the general public.
Looking for fresh fashion with a science twist? Be sure to check out Geopetal Fabric, Meaghan's clothing company. These geek chic designs look fantastic and make for excellent conversation starters. Plus, get 10% off using code WEIRDANDDEAD. Head on over to geopetalfabric.com now.
Okay, well, yeah, let's switch gears and let's move on to creepy ass pandas.
Hell yeah.
So pandas have 6 fingers. And when I say pandas, I do mean both giant pandas and red pandas. And those are 2 animals that used to be grouped together, both because of their extra 6 finger and presumably because both of them are cute and fuzzy and similarly colored. Like one's red, but whatever. Like they have the same kind of dramatic ass markings, but they are in completely separate families. Panda bears are actually bears. Red pandas are in a totally separate group of carnivores. So they are different, but they both do have 6 fingers. And as I was researching this, I remembered that you and I had kind of looked at these at one point and both been like, what the fuck? That's 7 fingers. What the fuck? What the fuck? So I did go a little bit more into detail. So you can go ahead and scroll down to that first image.
Dear God.
So what I've given you a giant panda hand because it's a lot more dramatic on the giant panda than it is on the red panda. Then you've got a human hand with the
Okay.
I'm going to call it pisiform. I don't remember how you say it, and every time I say pisiform, I do think that that's not right, but I am going to call it pisiform.
I'm good. I'm
So
good with
we've
that.
got
Okay.
yeah,
But that's the carpal.
yeah. So the pisiform is a carpal, and we have one. It's just much smaller, and I went ahead and highlighted it on the dog as well. Well, I didn't highlight it. I included a dog image because I did have to spend some time Googling. Because if you look at that giant panda hand, why don't you go ahead and describe what you see with the giant panda hand?
Oh, so the giant panda is in the upper left. Yeah, with the freaky
It's the
deaky.
bad one. Yeah.
It looks crazy. So it looks like it has 5 normal-ish well, they look like 5 digits that don't look like a thumb.
Yes.
They look all like kind of your middle index, those fingers. It's like 5 normal fingers, no thumb, except for this little chicken bone thing. Is that on the that's the thumb?
Yeah, so the thing that I think was most confusing to me is that when you look at these illustrations of giant panda hands, they always include the pisiform bone because it is a carpal. So to be faithful, they do have
And
to
that's on
include
the
it.
pinky
And it is
finger side.
no, it's not the one that looks like the pinky. It's the one that looks like the thumb. That's why it's confusing. So you've got the little tiny chicken wing that is right next to the pinky that looks like it's articulating in the same direction. And then you've got the pisiform bone sticking out. And that I kept looking at and thinking that was the thumb.
Okay.
It is not.
Okay.
The pisiform bone is essentially the same thing as a calcaneum. Like, it's a heel, it's a lever, and it just so happens that in pandas, their pisiform bone is really close to the rest of their stuff because they are plantigrade, not digitigrade. And they're plantigrade on both their front and their back legs. So their pisiform bone has moved very close to the rest of their hand, and it looks like it should be a 7th finger, but it's actually articulating the other direction. So pandas do indeed only have 6 fingers. It's not like every other scientist missed something.
Greedy bitches.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
but the chicken bone thing on the left is their pinky finger.
Yes.
And their thumb looks like a normal digit and is super long.
Kind of, but go ahead and scroll down to the next image and you'll see what it actually looks like on a panda with flesh.
Oh. So they really are using that pisiform, whatever we're calling it, as a thumb.
No, it's the opposite. The pisiform is the fleshy pad.
Oh, it's the fleshy pad. Oh, but that says that that's a radial sesamoid.
Yes.
So there's, oh my God, what is wrong with you? Look into those eyes. Those are dead eyes.
Yeah, they are. Pandas, they want to die just like horses. So
they really do.
In pandas, both red pandas and giant pandas, part of the reason that they were like, oh, they must be related is because it's not just that they've developed a 6th finger. It's that the 6th finger isn't a real finger. It is the radial sesamoid, which you and I also, I believe, have a radial sesamoid. It's one of these things in our wrist. But sesamoid bones. I
hate those bones.
Yeah. Well, sesamoid bones
at all costs.
You would hate even more because the word sesamoid comes from, I guess, the word in Greek for sesame seeds, because they're usually really small because sesamoid bones are really more of a calcification of your tendon. They're often used to help redirect your tendon and to create pulley action. So they're tendon bones. So not every animal has the same number of sesamoid bones. The biggest sesamoid bone in your body is
the patella.
Patella. Yep, it's your knee bone. It is not like the other bones in your legs. It is a tendon bone that is out of fucking control. That's what the patella is.
Yeah, it's so weird and it hurts all the time.
Nope, it doesn't. So you should check that out. That's not normal.
I already know.
Okay.
I already know my knees are fucked, so it's all good. Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, but that's why the number of bones in the human body, they're like, it's 206, and it's like, because it varies even amongst individuals, largely because of these bones. Yeah. Because some people have some and some people don't.
And sometimes they're very, very little. They're literally sesame seed sized. So, sometimes they don't. Some sesamoid bones are bigger than others.
I love how all these words are based on food. I love how people were just like,
Hungry.
I'm so hungry. That's why I'm identifying and labeling these bones.
So
Uh,
the sesamoid bone in pandas, it does create a false thumb, but only in that it is taking like their palm and making a more sticky outy component of their palm.
uh-huh.
It's only one bone. It's actually pretty flat if you look at them. They're not
Yeah.
super elongate and pointy like Iguanodon, which is actually kind of interesting. And I do wonder if we're looking at comparisons, I actually don't know that a panda
Uh-huh.
thumb is the best comparison
Is
because panda thumbs are not spikes. They are more like flat ribbons with a little
It's
curl at
because
the end.
pandas are lovers, not
No, pandas are
fighters.
distinctly not lovers. That's their whole problem. That is why they are dying.
Hey, maybe they're just asexual.
Yeah, so this radial sesamoid bone has evolved in both giant pandas and red pandas for the same. Well, they use it the same way. They both use it to. I kept calling it corn shucking in my notes.
Yeah.
Like they're stripping
Yeah.
the leaves off of bamboo.
Yeah.
But it's easier than corn. They don't have to do any fine scale manipulations. But they've both chosen to eat bamboo, and that sixth finger helps them. So I want to now show you my deformity, which is relatively new that
Oh.
is related. So sesamoid bones are bones that form within your tendon, and a ganglion cyst is what happens when you hit your hand too hard against something and you develop a cyst on your tendon. So
Ew,
you see that?
gross. You freak.
Yeah,
Meaghan has like a
disgusting.
pea-sized bump at the base of her palm sticking out. And it looks like
Hard as a
she's
rock.
trying to stab me in the neck with it, guys. She is trying to
Yeah, I'm
stab
trying
me.
to full on iguanodon.
Iguanodon was so bad at volleyball.
Yeah, just kept deflating the balls. Yeah, so I have a ganglion cyst. I don't know if they're actually necessarily related,
Oh my
but I
god,
did
you're
think that was funny because this
a
is really
panda.
hard, which is part of how I knew that
That's
it
what
was a
she
ganglion
said.
cyst and not something else. It's because it's very, very hard.
What'd you
Has
hit
not
your
gone away.
hand
It's been
on?
here for like a year.
What'd you do?
I think I like hit it really hard against the fridge. That's kind of what I remember.
Oh, that's
And
anticlimactic.
yeah, it wasn't cool. It was not like I hit a bus trying to save a baby or something. It was I think I
Mm.
just hit it hard against the fridge and then like looked down like an hour later and was like, "Wow, there's a bump there." And then it never went away.
Okay, so
So,
that
yeah,
okay, so
that's a
this is
ganglion cyst.
fascinating. That's weird. That's gross. I am still like
Uh-huh.
very distracted by their weird chicken bone finger too, like because you can't really, that doesn't seem to
Yeah.
even, it doesn't end in a claw. So this image of the panda has 5 digits on top that are
Mhm.
wrapped around a branch, and they're all with a claw.
Mhm.
And then you can see the gross sesamoid bone gripping it there, and the yeah. But oh, so is that the radial sesamoid? Like the, oh no, it's that thing down there.
Here, I'm going to actually go ahead. I'm going to post another picture. I wasn't sure if I should add
You
yet
saw
another
how
one,
many
but
I did
go ahead and
for.
scroll down to the
Ugh.
next image.
Ugh. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's actually really helpful. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you can see how it has like that curling edge and the little thing called in panel D, the like dark flat version, that is a ancient panda bone
Oh.
because as of 2022, the oldest panda thumb that we have is from the Miocene. It's about 7 million years old. And the paper pointed out that one interesting thing about the panda thumb, the giant panda thumb, is that you would assume it was getting longer over time as they became more and more specialized for bamboo eating. But if you
It's
look at the
not as
Miocene ones, theirs are actually
right.
slightly
Right.
longer. Yeah. So the thought is that this is an evolutionary trade off, that by having these long thumbs, you are sacrificing some of your mobility because it turns out pandas don't just sit and eat, they also walk to go find another place to sit and eat. And they put all of their weight on all four legs and they are plantigrade. That means they walk on their palm. You and I are plantigrade as well.
Oh,
We walk
yeah.
on our palms of our feet, and they would walk on their palms of their feet and the palms of their hand, not like dogs and deer and everything who walk on
Right.
like more tiptoe. So as a result, they can't really afford to have a super long opposable bone, especially since it's really just a lump. Like I don't know that they actually
Mad
have that
lumps.
much
Yeah.
mobility. It's just something lumpy to hold bamboo up against. So if it was any longer, it would potentially impede the panda's ability to walk.
Wow. Wow. This actually like makes me
Mhm.
like pandas a little bit more. I'm gonna be honest. This is like redeeming.
Is it because this image looks like it's jerking off a piece of
Well, I
bamboo?
mean, like I'm always here for that. They also just have really real like the distal ends of their metacarpals and the proximal ends of their phalange. They're really bumpy. Like they're really like got all sorts of extra
Yeah.
bumps and grooves. Like they're very I don't know, roller coaster ride.
Yeah. I mean, it's also possible that like this particular panda had arthritis or something, and we're just assuming that this is a normal panda hand, and it's not. I don't know for sure.
And so is
So I think it's the same panda hand we see all the
their
time
piss
on
bone, the
Google.
piss hand bone,
Yeah, the pisiform,
is that
it's
more of a thing with their walking then to be more of this stable platform for their locomotion?
as I understand it, yeah.
Okay.
That's more what they're using it for. They're not using it in any sort of pincher movement
Oh.
with their
It's just
fingers.
expanding its base, its surface area
Yeah.
on the ground.
Yeah.
Wow. See, but it is like the iguanodon in terms of it's doing lots of different adaptations with one
Yeah.
mitten. One creepy mitten.
Yep. It's really trying to do a lot. It is trying to do the most, but the most is really just eating bamboo real
So
good.
even the Miocene ones had this, what we would say, extra
Mhm.
digit in a way, but it wasn't as derived and curved yet. But they were so still probably doing. Do we know when the extra digit came about? What's the common ancestor with pandas? What's the next bear?
So we'll get to other bears in a second, but like pandas, it seems that we've got the very old thumb. We've got a Pleistocene one that looks kind of like today's, and the very old thumb is slightly longer and just isn't as curved. So like they grew out this big old sesamoid bone, made it longer, and then they used it as a base for scraping bamboo. And with red pandas, they have kind of a similar story, but red pandas have a little bit of a difference because red pandas, unlike giant pandas, they are arboreal. So, like, if you look up
Yeah.
giant panda tree, you're going to see lots of funny videos of them falling out of trees because they are incapable of life.
Right.
But red
It's
pandas
true.
move a lot like raccoons, they are arboreal. And when you look at red panda evolution, first off, red pandas, their six finger is not nearly as obvious. It's definitely, you kind of have to look at their bones in order to see. I think actually the next drawing is an illustration, but even then, it's really not.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
So,
still doing a similar it is
yes.
holding it in place there with this bamboo
Hmm.
stalk.
Yep. While they rip the leaves off. And if you look at the ancestors, we do have one again from the Miocene. So I don't know what was going on in the Miocene, but red pandas, uh, there's one from Spain in the Miocene that also has the sixth thumb. It's smaller, but it's not a bamboo eater. What it is arboreal. So they think that actually in red pandas, they evolved this more for their arboreal lifestyle and then just happened to
Oh.
find out that it was convenient for bamboo ripping.
Oh,
Yeah.
so this extra thumb, quote unquote, came
Hmm.
before the bamboo.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So they had some funny quotes in this
I'm
paper.
so excited.
Um, they're not that funny, but I thought they were funny because, you know, they had to be like, well, how could the giant panda, eventually get a more usable thumb? Well, they have to get around this whole plantigrade thing. So they've got to overcome a constraint by becoming digitigrade. And I just thought that that was funny because at no point did these people suggest, why not just become bipedal? Because of course bipedalism is so much more fucking complicated
Right.
than just walking on your toe tips. But as a primate, I was like, no, just stand up, bitch. You want to keep your thumb?
Fuck.
You just
want
stand up.
your
Or
thumb and
rotate like a sloth,
stab
man.
it too? Right.
Yeah. So they
Huh.
only had one suggestion, which was walk on your toe tips.
Oh,
But
a
giant
suggestion
ground
like
sloths curl
hi.
their hands. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Like,
A lot of other things go knuckle walking a lot of times
yeah,
too.
Iguanodon does whatever the fuck that
Iguanodon.
is.
It's like whatever the fuck Iguanodon was smoking. Can I please
Okay,
have
I
some?
guess actually Iguanodon would be digitigrade though, right? That's what
Yeah.
it's doing. So
I think it's just like horrific grade, but you know that's just me. It's fucking terrifying. Okay, so we had like a Miocene renaissance of fingers for pandas
Yes. Yes.
and red
So,
pandas.
yeah, this is, I know that at least when I went to college, this is kind of like the classic, this is how evolution works story, because what would really make sense is for the panda just to take one of its fingers and turn it into a thumb. It would work a
Yeah.
lot better, but it can't because that's not, evolution isn't directional. It takes what
Nope.
you got and it works with it.
Yep.
And what is really easy, as it turns out, easier even than my fucking evolution classes taught me, is making an elongated sesamoid bone. Because up until this morning, I thought only pandas had done that. And no, that is not true. So this is the weird fucking rabbit hole I went down, which is how many animals have evolved extra fingers, especially ones that came from radial sesamoid bones. So
Yeah.
radial sesamoid bones in particular seem to pop
Yeah.
up a lot. Also,
Yeah.
that fucking pisiform bone, that bitch becomes an extra finger in other animals. So
Ugh.
that's where we're going next.
Excellent. Yes.
Okay, we're going to start out strong with a group of animals that instead of using a sesamoid bone, they actually, it looks like it was cartilaginous rods that they then ossified. So they took cartilage and they
Hot.
said, you know what, would love an extra finger right there. Why don't I go ahead and make it an extra finger, and I'll make it bony so that I can support my big fat body weight. That's right, we're talking about elephants.
Oh.
How many fingers do fucking elephants have?
Come through. I don't fucking know. I
More
don't
than
think about
5.
I did not know. They all look like one giant trunk. Not trunk.
Yeah.
That's a bad word because they have that. But like tree trunk for legs with the elephant trunk for. I don't know. I don't think about.
Yeah.
I'm like actively wearing mammoth earrings, so I can't say I don't think about proboscideans.
Yeah, elephants, they've grown an additional bone basically to help support them because they're not, that tree trunk is not fully them walking on their toe tips. It's them walking on, like, they're called subdigitigrade because it's not quite walking on toe tips like dogs do. It's like one additional joint. And they are compromising because they're super, super heavy. So it's hard to be digitigrade if you're that big. And they've compromised by just getting an extra finger and an extra toe.
Sometimes that's just what you need.
Did you just say thumb times? Fuck you.
Thumb times, that's just what you need. I didn't mean to if I did the first time, but that's okay.
Yeah. All right. Next one, cotton rats. That's not really an animal I knew about, but apparently it's a rat that lives in Peru, and its radial sesamoid bone is actually longer in comparison to its hand than the pandas are. It's done a better job making a finger, and it's curved because they use it. What's weird with them is that they live out in kind of the open. They don't live in like trees.
So why do they need this?
They're probably scaling bushes because to a rat, a bush is a tree. Right? Like
right. Yeah, fair. It is. It's just like to an ant, my broccoli's a tree. You're right, exactly.
It lives an arboreal lifestyle in the sagebrush steppe sort of thing. Like it's living in bushes and it's using it to scale things and maybe pick up objects, but yeah, not a lot is known about cotton rats, I guess. So that's what I got from that paper.
Huh.
So they need really fine scale control. Frogs have extra fingers for no reason. It's not really clear where those are coming from.
God, Meaghan.
And
God wanted them that way. Obviously.
God, yeah, sorry. Moles also have an extra finger. And it is functionally the equivalent of the radial sesamoid. I think it's a slightly different sesamoid maybe because moles are not super closely related to us. But it's like a big scalloped thing, and it's used to support their gross finger mittens when they're digging.
Because
they just wanted wider hands.
Terrifying creatures.
Yeah.
Yes.
Generally terrifying. Extra terrifying is that one mole has extra toes that are doing the exact same thing. It has functionally got a 6th toe.
If you could see it from the front, see it from the back. Oh.
They don't. That's actually pretty much what the author said for evolutionary reasons. The author clearly got to the end of that paper and was like, yeah, it's got one on its foot. I don't know. Maybe they're linked. Maybe you can't have one without the other. But
maybe
only in this specific
backwards
like,
and forwards.
Yeah. They were like, there's clearly no
put
reason for it. And I was like, really? There's no, okay, sure. So
sometimes it could
yeah,
just be a byproduct of who knows what,
exactly.
but
It's a
we do love to
spandrel.
assign function. Oh, 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 don't even do that to me. You know I get faint when you quote Gould.
I was gonna say, actually, one of the other papers did have a Gould quote in it.
Yeah,
Specifically
right.
about
Yeah.
pandas. The
Oh, well,
panda's
he wrote
true
a whole
thumb.
fucking book.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And the
It's,
panda's thumb.
yeah,
So I would tell you to write to him, but he's
he's
dead.
dead. Yeah, he's dead. So yeah, frogs, moles, flying squirrels took their
Love it.
pisiform bone and they made it into cartilage, so they have an extra cartilaginous kind of rod to help support their
Oh, to
skin
help
flap.
with their pagium. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whatever.
And I do
Yeah.
think we should do an episode at some point all about skin flap flying. Like, we should talk about flying
Oh,
squirrels and colugos and those
yeah. I love a
weird
flying
reptiles.
lemur. They
Flying
look
snakes.
so cute. Oh, yeah, sure. I'm distracted by colugos. I'm low key obsessed. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's true. I could just save this fucking pterosaur shit for that.
So the last one that I went and looked into that made me particularly mad because
Oh, is this the one mad or grossed out?
I mean, I found all of this disgusting. Sorry if I haven't made that clear. Sesamoid bones are disgusting. My ganglion cyst is disgusting. All of this is kind of nasty, and I don't want to think about it too much. The shit that's inside of your hand should stay inside of your hand. And you shouldn't be able
Yes.
to just get extra fingers. I feel like that's against the rules, and it's no wonder it's going so wrong and making it hard to walk. But pandas are not the only fucking bear that has
Oh.
an extra radial sesamoid, that has an elongated sesamoid bone. Like, we talk about giant pandas, like, oh my god, they're so evolved. Yeah, well, fucking spectacled
Do
bears
we?
also have one.
Do we? Spectacle bears are their own precious, beautiful
Yeah.
creation of
Yeah.
me.
And they did get them independently. It's not like they share a common ancestor with pandas. They got them independently and they used them for, here's the most metal description of how they're used. This is very Iguanodon stabby-esque. They remove the leaves of bromeliads and palms to obtain the heart.
Yeah, the heart.
The heart. They're going for the heart
of the palm.
Yeah,
of the palm.
of the palm, of the bromelaid. Yeah, of the plant.
Did you ever see that hilarious video that they posted about a spectacle bear?
No.
I think in China. And people accused them of it being a person wearing a bear suit because it looked so stupid. And they were like, no, this is just what this dumb bear looks like. And like, because it was like kind of standing bipedally and its like ass looked really saggy. And so everyone was like, come on, stop dressing up as zoo animals. And the zoo was like, no, we swear it's a bear.
I didn't, but that doesn't surprise me because I did do a 5-second
I will
Google
send
search. Yeah.
you that. Yeah. It was pretty hilarious. And it's like, no, it's a real bear.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're great. They're great.
Yeah. And then I guess one just last sidebar on pandas is that red pandas evolved in North America, and the oldest red panda is from Washington State. So that's
Ooh,
fun. Yep.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And I thought, oh, okay, well, red pandas are special. Did you know that there was like a relative of the giant panda found in North America?
No.
You should,
because
I'm pretty sure it was your
pandas.
paleobiology or your vertebrate paleontology final project.
Oh, I didn't do well on that. The professor really didn't like me, remember? That's true. I had to define I had to describe they were deciduous bear molars. Yeah, but I didn't know it was or I have forgotten. I was definitely not consuming a lot of cannabis at that time. Definitely not.
No, of course
definitely not.
I don't know what you eventually decided that the bear was. I don't remember that, but I do remember you were at one point considering Indarctos and Agriatherium.
Wow, you remember way more about that project than me. I do not remember any of that.
I don't remember why, but I do remember that you were looking at those two. And Indarctos is a member of the subfamily that includes pandas.
Okay.
So that's a fucking panda, more or less.
Did it look like a panda?
No, it doesn't have an extra sesamoid bone, and it was not eating bamboo.
Is this another fucking zebra situation, Hagerman? Fucking, it's
yeah,
just like
probably.
heartbreak up in here. I'm just like, don't call it
I don't
that.
think that all pandas looked as stupid as modern pandas. I imagine some of them were slightly cool. Like even
I'd like to
in
see
like the paper.
phylogenetics on that. When did they start looking
Well,
dumb? When did they go stupid?
When do they get cutesy and dumb? Yeah. I mean, even in the paper that was describing that Miocene panda thumb, the pandas that they illustrated look much more regal and noble than real fucking pandas.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like, they tried to make pandas cooler than pandas actually are. But yeah, that and one of the Agriatheriums has been split off into another genus, and that's also in the panda family. So you might have been looking at a panda relative for your project.
A panda.
Yeah.
It's as close as I'll come. Oh, wait. I think I got to touch some hides when I was at the Smithsonian a few years ago, which is controversial anyway. They were like, this is that famous panda from the zoo years ago. And I was like, so you're like petting its pelt. Like, okay. All right. Looking into its empty eyes. Yeah, it's cool. Pandas.
So yeah, pandas. They're from North America on both fronts, or at least some of them were in North America.
That's cool because I usually only think of red pandas, at least, as the gray fossil site in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. I know that there are red pandas there, but it makes sense that they were distributed across the country.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's what I have for pandas. And it looks like we've just filmed an entire episode getting upset about pandas and iguanodons, which is great. But
so maybe we can make it a two-parter?
I think this is a two-parter about how mad we are about fingers.
Thank you for listening. If you like the podcast, be sure to rate and review us on your listening platform of choice. We really, really, really appreciate it.
If you'd like to hear more and support the show, you can follow us on Patreon for some exclusive bits or on our various social media platforms. You can follow Amy on Instagram at Mary Anning's Revenge.
And Meaghan on Instagram and TikTok as GeoPedalFabric, or both of us at Weird and Dead on Instagram and TikTok. Our theme song is Unlock Me by Prazkanov. Cover art was provided by Chris Spencer and the hosts.
And this has been hosted and researched by us, Amy Atwater and Meaghan Weatherall. This episode edited by our new editor, Max Scott. Thanks so much for joining the team, Max. Thank you for listening.